Welcome. It's your boy Carcino here, aka Mr. No Sleep. I gotta wrap some more gifts. Had to go get more wrapping paper and all this stuff. And yes, it has happened. Didn't do what I thought we were gonna do. And that was disappointing. I thought we were gonna at least crack 250 opening weekend and beat out the Force Awakens, which I believe did like 247 on opening weekend. So this is a live chat, by the way. So definitely when you guys fill in, a lot of you guys are just waking up. I haven't been to sleep yet. I had to do some shopping around the house. I'm still reviewing Eminem's album. Yes and no about the Ray questions. But yeah, Force Awakens is still the #1 opening week record with like 247 million. It's #1. #2 is The Last Jedi at 220 million. A lot of people believe the negative people going in there hating on the movie dropped it to like the audience score is like 56%, even though the critics rated it an A. A bunch of stupid people went in there because they were expecting to see something else. And because they were expecting to see something else, they just went in there and gave it a negative rating. Now, before we proceed any further, for all you guys who are not getting notifications, okay? If you're not getting notifications and you're not being notified, I'm going to show you, if you guys have problems doing that, this is what you need to do on your PC to make sure it's coming through. Okay? You have to go to your account settings. I'm going to walk you through it because they did some tricky stuff here. And yes, that's me in the cover photo. Nah, don't let me knock you out, Mr. Gunner Storm. Now, if you're not getting your notifications, this is why. You see, there's a button here that's automatically clicked on your page that says occasionally notify me when new videos and stuff come over. You want to click this button off to where there's no check marks. And this is in your account settings. Once you click that, you go to manage all subscriptions. Okay, this is not the one account we're looking for. This is the account we're looking for. And you will look for, let's say, Carcino for Life. There it is. So you'll move over to Carcino for Life on this side. You would click the button over here, that little bell. And there it is. Notifications for Carcino for Life. All, occasional, or none. Click all. So therefore, you should get all your notifications from Carcino for Life. Mobile is different. You got an account settings the same way. You got Android. They let you know how to do it. You got an Android? Hold on. Here we go. Android people.
Video in this series. Now we'll walk you through steps you can take on your Android device. We have many different settings for our notifications, and if you're having problems receiving notifications, it might be because some of them are turned off. Let's make sure these different settings are on at every level. First, we're going to check your account, then app, device, and
Of course,
channel
Luke had
notification
good
settings.
scenes.
You can jump to any of these specific steps in this video's description or in this video's cards. Now let's check your account settings. First, make sure that you're signed into the account from which you want to receive notifications. To do this, tap the account icon and tap Switch Account to see which account you're currently signed into. If it's not the account you're looking for, tap on the one you prefer. If it doesn't appear, tap the plus icon here. Now we'll check your app notification settings. Tap your account icon. Now tap Settings, then Notifications. First, make sure that you have Notify on this device toggled on, and turn the sound on if you want sounds for your notifications. Then, let's see if your notifications are turned on for the type of notifications you want. If you want to receive notifications for recommended videos, toggle on Recommended Videos. Choose how you want to get your notifications, either through email or through your mobile device. If you want like and comment notifications, toggle on Activity on my channel and Activity on my comments. Now let's check your device settings. Open the Android Settings app. Now tap Notifications. On this screen, tap YouTube. This menu may look a little different if you're on a different operating system. Either uncheck Block All or check the box next to Receive Notifications. Finally, let's check your channel settings. Note that you need to have subscribed to a channel in order to turn on notifications. If you're subscribed to a channel but aren't receiving notifications, it may be because the channel's notification settings are off. In the channel's Home tab, tap the bell next to the subscribe button. If notifications aren't enabled for the YouTube app, you'll see the option to enable them in your device's settings. When you tap the bell, you'll see options appear at the bottom. When you tap on Options, you can choose the frequency of your notifications. If you don't want to miss any notifications, make sure you have All checked in the window. If you're still having issues, please send us feedback on YouTube or on our forums. You can learn more by tapping this card. And that's it. Thanks for watching.
And there you go. People are giving Star Wars bad reviews because they are stupid. A lot of people are very dumb and cannot follow this movie. This movie is nothing. I'm not going to say the movie is flawless. It has some things that could be taken out or whatever. But what people are complaining about is completely stupid. They're finding it. The one guy said, he said the word God. I thought they all worshiped the Force. Nobody used God before. I'm like, this movie was stupid. I'm like, you're talking about a guy who had 10 seconds of dialogue before he blew up? That's pretty crazy. But Star Wars, they haven't even got to the international numbers. This film will do over $1 billion, of course, and be one of the highest grossing films of all time. The Force Awakens, it might not surpass The Force Awakens, but it's going to do the same amount of numbers as The Force Awakens. And as long as they had a 2, they were going to be okay. Now, somebody said something. Where is Mr. Gunnar Storm? Gunnar Storm told me Luke Skywalker had no good parts in the movie. That's the kind of talk I tell you that people are crazy about. What was wrong with Luke Skywalker in this film? Absolutely nothing. It was the best performance of a Luke Skywalker that we have seen since Jedi. So as I say to you, what was the problem with Luke? Do you even understand the story? He didn't do nothing in the movie. What was Luke supposed to do? He did do something in the movie. He did a lot of something in the movie. Do you know what his role was in this film? He didn't train Rey. He taught her what she needed to know. He had more training from Yoda, but did Yoda really train him? He went back to train with Yoda, and Yoda was like, you know everything you need already. Nothing else I need to teach you. And what did Yoda tell him? So your problem with the movie was Luke. You have to look at where Luke's character was at that point in time. Now, Mark Hamill never saw himself and saw Luke Skywalker being this guy. If you asked him where he thought Luke would be at this point, he didn't think Luke would be at this point. So he actually had a conversation with him because he didn't like where he was going with the character. And this is spoiler loaded for those who didn't know. We're talking about, we're going to be dancing on spoiler thing. Oh, yeah. So, the office is Star Wars out. We haven't spoiled anything yet. Was it better than Force Awakens? Yes, it was better than Force Awakens. It's the best looking Star Wars film ever made. It's got more heart than, and it's smart. That's the thing that's shocking. And George Lucas himself, who really didn't like The Force Awakens, loved this movie. Absolutely. Some people, they want attention, so they knew, like, they just want to upset Star Wars fans. It was trash. Because they didn't see what they thought they were going to see. You know what they thought they were going to see? They thought Luke Skywalker was going to come out. He was going to use force repel. Boom, knock everybody out of the water. And he was going to grab Rey, train her, and take her in the forest. And she's carrying him on his back. You guys thought you were going to see all this craziness that you built in your head, instead of following the story and letting the story play out. So when you didn't see this, you're like, wait, this is some bull, man. You guys have no idea of what you just watched. Instead of enjoying the greatness of what you just witnessed and following the story, you're putting your own mind to work to see something that's not even there. You know, if a fan can just make the movie, of course, as soon as it comes on, it'll be lightsabers blazing and force powers and pulling starships out the sky with the force, throwing it on people. Yeah, they could do that. They could throw that movie, but it wouldn't be a great movie. It'd be just action packed, full of no direction whatsoever, no nothing going together. Exactly. That would have been just Star Wars for those who just wanted to geek out. They do that, and that's why they got you the animated series where you could just do all that stuff. Oh, not enough. Not enough women. I tell you that. No, I'm not overhyping it. You just don't understand it. That's the problem. You don't understand the point of the story. You missed everything because you're expecting to see something that wasn't there. To me, it was better than Rogue One. They're two different type of movies. Rogue One was a very nostalgic one that led to the first one, and I thought it was a good nod to Admiral Raddus, who that was my guy in Rogue One. Raddus, he was crazy. He was like Admiral Akbar. I guess that's his cousin or something. The ship he flew was called the Raddus, which is named after Admiral Raddus. Because remember, he got destroyed once Vader and them pulled up in the Star Destroyer. It just blew, it destroyed and blew up Raddus' ship. And Admiral Akbar, who was in this one, you know. Oh, well, thank you for the happy birthday. I appreciate that, Mr. Jones. Thanks for the donation, too. Mr. Aztec, you said it bounced around too much and had major plot holes. What are the plot holes that you talking about, Mr. Aztec, that you would like for me to help fill in for you? Oh, architect. Well, what is the plot hole that you saw out there that you need me to fill it for you? Leia didn't fly. She was in space where it's zero gravity. So she's automatically going to float. She used the force to guide herself back to the ship. What's the problem with that? Believe me, that was the biggest tension. I've seen the film 6 times in 2 days, 3 days, so I was exhausted. But I can tell you, I've seen every little detail in there. That scene had everybody silent. They were, because everybody thought they were killing her off the show. They made it seem like Snoke was so powerful, but he died so quickly. Did you see the original trilogy? Wasn't the Emperor Palpatine just as powerful? And he died just as quickly. You see, you didn't know anything about Palpatine until you saw the prequels. No, I think he's pretty much dead. You see, nobody talked about the Emperor. You didn't even see him in Empire. They never talked about him in the original. You saw a screenshot of him for like 5 seconds in Empire. And in Return of the Jedi, he's got a lot of scenes in there of him just talking. So the Emperor was the same way. But see, now we're just in modern time. And like, he didn't do nothing. Nobody thought about the Emperor until he shot that electricity on Luke. But if you notice, it's the same scene that they had when Vader and Luke is in the elevator, Rey and Kylo Ren in the elevator, same thing. He take the thing off. He got the lightsaber on the side, just like the Emperor had the lightsaber on the side. She tried to take the lightsaber from Snoke, and it didn't work out for her, just like Luke tried to take this lightsaber from the Emperor. It didn't work out good for him either. So, and each side was betrayed because they both couldn't see the shifting of energy. Just like in Return of the Jedi. He didn't know Luke was on Endor. The Emperor didn't feel him. But Vader felt him because they had a connection. Well, no. Well, let's see what happened to Luke. Luke had a school. He had Leia's son. He saw that he was dark. He turned on him. Next thing you know, he kills the students. He burns down the school. He takes the students that was left from him. The only thing that's left, and what you guys don't understand, is that the story is not finished. You have to wait till a story is finished before you can start criticizing it. You keep saying, well, they didn't tell us this yet. There's still another movie. If they tell you everything right now, then what is there to tell you in 9? Luke is coming from he's bitter at the Jedi because he's mad at himself. He's bitter at the Jedi because he's mad at himself. His vanity. He felt like it's egg on his face because he's supposed to be this Jedi master, yet he was so flawed as to take the path to try to thinking of killing Kylo Ren because he sees that all the darkness and all this stuff that's inside of him, but his choice wasn't made yet. So you got to look at the scenario and the point of the movie. Did you guys miss the entire point of this movie? Okay, now what did you say? You said Kylo wanted to see. You said Snoke wanted to see where Kylo loyalty was at, and did the same thing to Luke, and he is somewhere else. Luke did what he did to the resistance time, but now is a Force ghost. I don't know what you're trying to say here. No, I didn't watch Clash of Champions. Well, you missed a great film, Mr. Architect. You're missing a lot of things in the film that you don't really understand. Luke is coming from an era of a person who's a broken man. His ego was broken. So now he's just blaming the Jedis altogether. When he doesn't get that it's not about you teaching everything that you know. They learn from your failures too. Yeah, you're going to make mistakes. Yeah, you're going to be flawed. Even though you're a master, don't mean that you can't make mistakes or things not gonna go your way. You learn from that and move on, and you grow from that. That's what Yoda had to come back to tell him, because he just still the same way. Thanks, Thomas Box and Reed. No, did you notice in the film, Mr. Architect? Poe was the biggest character in the film, so why would he be useless? Poe was great in this movie. Poe Dameron, he had the best scenes in the entire movie. Oh, okay. I wonder why you said that. He's like, I haven't seen it yet. Well, if you haven't seen it yet, you might want to probably get out of this chat, because the people in here have seen it, and we might be saying some things that are spoiler related. So if you're somebody who can't handle it, you can jump right off. That's a character that they didn't know what to do with in this film here. That's the only flaw when you have different directors. You had a different writer and director in part one. JJ did that. And you got Ryan, who's writing and directing this one. They have different ideas of how it goes. Even though JJ was a producer and he kind of worked with him because he knew the characters, each character's arc was different. He basically used the same arc that Finn had through The Force Awakens, which is he still hadn't joined the rebellion. Even when he was fighting over there on the Star Killer base, and where people was like, yeah, why is he acting like he's running away, and like he should be part of the rebellion now. He still wasn't part of the rebellion. He was using the rebellion so he can go back to get Rey. His whole motivation is this girl Rey. He is hooked on Rey. That's all he care about is Rey. So when he came back, all his motivation was, where's Rey? That's it. So when he had the beacon, when Leia came back and he got that beacon, he was finna leave. And then he ran into another chick who was all like, I'm your biggest fan. So he was like, man, now he got him a new broad. Now they gonna have they could make a whole movie out of Finn and them two chicks. They could be fighting. She could use a Force Ghost and choke them, and I'll be like, man, they going hair getting pulled. I'll be like, shoot, the brothers be lined up. Yeah, get him, Finn. Finn got two of them. But no, I think Poe Dameron is gonna end up with Rey, cause he's more like Han Solo. She's more of a strong, independent Leia. They'll hook them up together, and they'll have Jedi kids and all that. That's what that whole little introduction thing was about. And she kind of looked over at Finn and saw Finn was taking care of Rose. At least I wasn't watching the Bears. You know, I actually saw a glimpse of that in the Star Wars bar. There's a Star Wars bar. If you looked at the opening picture on there, that's me in there. For those who didn't know, that's me in that photo. That's on the thumbnail. And I'm right in front of a Star Wars bar. And in that Star Wars bar, they playing all the games. And the Bears game was on, and they were getting destroyed. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's Saturday. What is football doing on? I'm losing track of days. Sorry, I had to come back down here because my charger down here. My phone was down. Well, that's just people making internet rumors. Nothing about Poe says he's gay in this film. Well, Diddy's talking about buying it, but Diddy's good for talking. So any more questions about the movie you didn't understand that I could explain for you? I'm here to answer your questions. As Star Wars cracked 220 million. Star Wars, Force Awakens, and The Last Jedi are the only two movies in history to make $100 million in a day. They made $100 in a day. $100 million in a day. Woo! Why was her floating with the Force some BS? It wasn't like she was Mary Poppins out there with an umbrella. She's in space. It's zero gravity in space. So she's not flying. She just used the Force. She never showed Force abilities. Do you know how the gap in between episode 6 to A Force Awakens? You do realize that the Death Star blew up. Luke was back on Endor with Leia. You know, they had a kid. You know, time passed. She might have picked up a couple of things. You know, I mean, she was able to communicate with Luke, so she does have Force ability in Empire when he was able to talk to Leia. Hear me, Leia. And she knew where he was because they're brother and sister. And they both share the Force. See, there's people who have the Force abilities, as you saw in The Force Awakens, like Maz Kanata. Maz, she has the Force. She knows the Force. But she's not a Jedi. Leia's not a Jedi. She just has Force abilities. Remember in Return of the Jedi? You have this power too. In time, you'll learn how to use them like I have. Remember when Luke tells Leia this? When did Leia need to use the Force in A Force Awakens? She shows up almost in the middle of the film. At no point was her Force abilities in The Force Awakens ever was going to be needed. The audience went to 57 because of all these people who are haters. The haters went on there to do this. That's what they want to do. People are getting attention, you know, trolls. Like, it sucked. And you're like, a lot of people they ain't even seen the movie and they're talking about it sucked. They just want attention. Then they don't even know why they saying it sucked. They just picking up what they heard somebody else complain about. I still don't know if anything's better than Empire. because you can't beat Empire. Empire was the first of its kind. It's very hard to beat something that's the first of its kind and had that effect. No, I am your father. You can't replace that. Period. That line, there's so many lines in that movie that's incredible. The shots from the opening scene of the Empire, the music, everything was perfect with Empire. All the way through. Han Solo, everything was just immaculate with Empire. Now, Rogue One did a good job of bringing about a lot of nostalgic things, but there are a lot of things cut out of that film. And then the actual fact is the ending of Rogue One really what brought things to a halt, or brought things back that we love. I thought it was a great film. I love seeing the little details, the little keen to detail. They kept everything to perfection, that it actually looked like a film that was right before or linked right up to part 4. You could start right off with Rogue One and go right into 4. Go into A New Hope. Well, Ty, I don't know. You probably just can't follow the story because Rogue One was never a story that was boring, that was slow or would put you to sleep. But you saw the rebellion in a whole nother light that they don't really put you in. Timothy Moore Jr., you probably should check the timeline. All right, Dante. Any more questions about the movies that y'all had problems with or need answered? The movie review spoiler is out. It's on my Screen Fiend account. That's my movie account. It's called Screen Fiend. I'm only over here because I can answer your questions here. Over there, it's on Screen Fiend. We did like an hour and 32-minute breakdown spoiler. Snoke is dead as Dillinger. He ain't coming back. Downsize is my movie. I've been waiting on it. Where do they go with Leia from here? That's gonna be the biggest question. Her character is alive and well so far. We see. We don't know if she gets eliminated in the crawl. She was originally supposed to be in 9. Her arc was basically to groom Poe Dameron to take charge, which she pretty much did in this one. So she could basically go away and just let Poe run things, because they was pushing up to that now. See, the thing that I loved about this film is how real they kept it. All those Star Wars is built on last second heroics with the odds are so slim. Star Wars and New Hope ends when Luke uses the Force with a 1 in a million shot, blows up the Death Star, everybody goes home. Then you have the Empire. The bad guys won. Han got frozen. Luke lost an arm. And they escape. Last second heroics. Vader's still finna catch them. And bring them in. And capture them because they can't go to light speed. R2 fixes the light speed. And next thing you know. They into hyperspace. And they escape. Right when they had them. Return of the Jedi. Last second heroics. Vader grabs the Emperor, throws him down a hole. Then they gotta escape before the Death Star blows up. And there you go. Last second heroics. Force Awakens, same thing. They're seconds away from Starkiller Base, blowing up everything. Last second heroics. This film showed the realisms to that and went away from the usual last second heroics of Star Wars. Everybody who tried to be the hero, that became the theme. You start seeing the price of what cost them. When Poe Dameron did what he did, it cost him. And he was like, hey, those are heroes out there. And she's like, yeah, all dead heroes. No leaders. She's trying to get him to understand something. You don't have to keep attacking and blowing stuff up. And that's not going to win all the time. And that became the theme that he had to learn throughout the entire movie. And it wasn't just him. It was everybody. Luke had the same problem. Luke had to be the hero to save everybody. Or, like, I got to go fight Kylo with my sword and kill Kylo Ren. And then that's going to be that's it. You know, like, that's the story for Luke. And that's not the way to go. And Luke's like, I'm not finna do it. Because he's thinking about himself. I can't go out there and be the hero. Not what they needed. It was just his presence. Finn, the same way. Finn's about to kill himself. And he's not listening. Poe's trying to tell him. Because he's learning. Like, nah, we're not going to make it. This ain't going to work. They took a 1 in a million shot to go over there to try to shut down the thing with the code breaker. They got caught. It didn't work. All the things you thought that were going to work in Star Wars that normally go their way and they take down the shield generators and all that stuff did not work the way you thought. The film made a point to tell you when Luke tells you, this is not gonna go how you think. So, I'll take one more question before I get out. About Star Wars. Well, Rey will probably be a lot stronger with the Force. So would Kylo. And that would be the two. They'll be trying to grow the rebellion or regroup and get, more people to join with them. And Kylo will be searching. Just like basically Vader was searching for Luke. All right, it's my bedtime.